Ampun. Let me continue. Entitled Serum Eye Drop for Treatment of Ocular Surface Disease, a Systematic Review and Meta-Analysis by me, Faisal Muhammad, with a consultant of Dr. Nisita Suryanto, ophthalmologist. Next slide. And this the brief review of the journal that I taken 2 days before. For the introduction, the idea of using blood-derived topical therapy in treating ocular surface diseases has been initiated over 40 years ago by Ralph et al. Ralph and their corresponding researchers developed a mobile ocular perfusion pump which deliver autologous serum. The serum autologs used to treat injured ocular surface, specifically chemical burn. Since then, that publication, many other authors have experimented the use of serum eye tears in a wide range of surface ocular disease, mainly in the case of Sjögren syndrome-related dry eye. That other authors have documented their direct effect, not only in alleviating symptoms, but also promoting the re-epithelialization process. Next, for the introduction, blood-derived eye drop may be autoloads, which prepared from patient own peripheral blood, such as autologous serum, platelet-rich plasma, and platelet lysate. And the second is homologs, blood-derived eye, which prepared from the donor, such as allogenic peripheral blood serum and umbilical cord blood serum. The biochemical properties of autologous serum eye drop included resemble those human tears, contain several growth factor, which is contain epidermal growth factor, transforming growth factor beta, and platelet-derived growth factor, and nutrient and protein that allow tissue repair and regeneration to take place. This characteristic mentioned above form the basis of the increasing clinical use of autologous and homologous serum eye drop in ophthalmology seen over the last 20 years. From that introduction, this systematic and meta-analysis have purpose, that is, to summarize the existing literature on the use of serum eye drop in ocular surface alteration in order to assess their potential clinical benefits. In this systematic and meta-analysis included 19 review which cited in the reference from the number 15 and 30 in the journal. Next, for the material method, searching strategy, the review or the research or the article research are compiled from the Medline, PubMed, Embase, Scopus Index Journal, Ovid, and Cochrane Library Electronics. The database was performed until March 30, 2019, where this systematic review have published in May 2019. And from that articles to identify study of the use of serum eye drop in the ocular surface disease. And the researchers of the systematic and meta-analysis use term serum eye drop, and they conduct a Boolean logics system including blood eye derived and autologous and homologous and allogenic and cord blood and platelet-rich plasma and ophthalmology and dry eye, Sjögren syndrome, ocular surface alteration, corneal superficial ocular disease, randomized control trial. The all Boolean logics are ends, and checks the reference list of the corresponding article with most relevant item, original studies, and review in order to identify potentially eligible study not captured by initial literature search. Next, for the method of study selection and inclusion criteria, The systematic review was performed independently by two reviewers, by the author one and the second author, which disagreement resolved through discussion and on the basis of the opinion of the third review, which is the third author of this paper. The eligibility, including the title, abstract, and on the full text if required. If the article wants to be reported the serum either in the ocular surface, either in the title or in the abstract. The other inclusion criteria to the systematic review, including original research and of course randomized control trial and the recent publication from range 1990 to 2019, 20 years duration range. And for the studies, the systematic review perform crossover design with summarized data according to Curtin et al. The Curtin et al. That this author uh, used to perform crossover using parallel data from the first crossover periods or the first treatment and paired data from future outcome of the treatment or paired data from both crossover period. And the qualitative analysis of the systematic review was performed also included study investigating autologous serum compared to control. And the last is they also perform quantitative synthesis. After the meta-analysis, the quantitative synthesis that is only includes studies that compare autologous serum to artificial tears in dry eye syndrome and reported usable outcome data. This means from the 19 article, home, the 19th article is still heterogeneous in the design, and the systematic review, including 10 homogeneous article design that the author further performed this quantitative synthesis. And next, the data collection and analysis. For each randomized control trial included in the systematic review, following data were extracted by the reviewer, that is, the first and the second author independently, including the checklist of the first author of the corresponding article, years of publication, type of ocular disease that issue, and the fourth is the type of intervention in study and control group, the sample size of the research, mean age and male-female ratio, outcome measurement, follow-up period, and the last main result. Measure of the treatment effect were in the value of means difference together with 95% confidence interval. For this measure, the score had to be scored as mean plus minus standard deviation. When study reported other dispersion measure, such as standard error of the mean 95 CI, the calculation for the standard deviation in order to perform the relevant meta-analytical polling. So all the article must be adapted into mean plus minus standard deviation to perform further meta-analysis after systematic review. And last, this agreement was resolved by consensus by the opinion of the review if necessary. The last material and method, assessment of risk bias of that 19 studies conducted by two reviewer authors, the first and the second author, independently assess the risk of bias of each study using Cochrane Handbook for Systematic Review of Interventions, which consists 6 specific domains: sequence generation, allocation concealment, blinding data, incomplete data, selective outcome reporting, and other issues relating to the bias. This is the last. And after performing the Cochrane Handbook Systematic Review Intervention for the bias, the summary finding of the table in the result section of the journal readings The principle of the grade system to assess the quality of the body of evidence associated with specific outcome, where all the 19 articles that used by this systematic review was summarized in the following outcome including screamer test, TBUT, skin test, and ocular surface disease index using application named Refman 5, and this the software that I taken from the internet, not the article. And next, for the result of this systematic review. This systematic review, included 19 randomized control trial investigating autologous serum compared to control. A total of, with total 729 patients. The main characteristic of the included studies here are summarized in Table 1. I will show further after this slide. The study flowchart is summarized in Figure 1 after this slide. For the quantitative analysis or the meta-analysis, the researcher only included 10 studies because these 10 studies have same or homogeneous study design and conducted in 353 patients with dry eye syndrome comparing to autologous serum to artificial tears and reporting the usable outcome data. And this, the flowchart of study summarized from all the research and using Boolean logic from the identification phase, screening phase, eligibility phase that I have mentioned earlier. The included research got 19 randomized control trial and 10 of 19 articles were performed quantitative synthesis. And next, for the result of its article profile detail, its 19 article were summarized in this table, including the number of the patient, median age, condition, the product of the treatment, autologic serum or cord blood serum, and or PRP or platelet-rich plasma, and the control group, the duration of treatment or follow-up, concomitant topical therapy, and the main results. These are the article 19, and these 19 articles were further assessed for the bias. Each article have their specific bias profile based on Cochrane assessment for the systematic review. And this colored by this color, low risk bias, unclear bias, and high risk bias. And the researchers are mainly focuses on the assessment of low risk bias for its 19 article, which every domain I have mentioned earlier in this 6 domain with one other bias domain consideration. And this is the compilation of 19 studies above of the risk bias profile. And this for its domain for every 19 article. And for the domain random sequence generation or selection bias, only 8 article have low rise bias. Next, for the selection bias of allocation concealment, only 3 papers that have low risk bias. And the next domain is the blinding of participant and personnel, or the people or resources that collect data. not more than 50%, only 7 articles have low bias for this domain. And next, the blending outcome assessment or detection bias, 9 articles have low risk of bias. And incomplete outcome data for this risk of bias, 15 article, and selective reporting or reporting bias, almost almost 19, I mean 17 article have reporting the selective bias, and the other bias was also 17 article. This is the review or assessment about each risk of bias item for each included 19 study. And this is the summary of the autologous serum eye drop for ocular surface disease summary finding, which included which analyzed on its parameter for screamer test, tear film break-up time or TBUT. The third is fluorescence staining, and the last is ocular surface disease index. For the summary finding of screamer test, the comment of the study included, on average, it is unclear whether or not use of autologous serum compared to artificial tears increase the score of short-term follow-up. The between group difference were small and unlikely to be clinical important. That is the point for screamer test comment. The next point is tear film break-up time or TBUT. TBUT itself, less than 10 seconds for the duration is considered abnormal, with follow-up up to 2 to 6 weeks. The comment for this summary finding, on average, compared to artificial tears, a short-term follow-up autologous serum increased TBUT of 2.68 seconds. And next point is fluorescence stainings. The fluorescence staining itself range of scale 0 to 9, where a higher score means the clinical is worse. The follow-ups up to 2 to 6 weeks. The comment for the summary finding, on average, it is unclear whether or not use of autologous serum compared to artificial tears decrease the fluorescence staining score at short-term follow-up. The between group difference were small and unlikely to be clinically important. The last summary finding for systematic review, the outcome of ocular surface disease index or OSD, it's the participant complained or reported their symptom with range scale of 0 to 100 with score of 0 to 12 representing normal, 13 to 22 representing mild, 23 to 32 representing moderate, and greater than 33 representing severe severe ocular surface disease. The comment of this ocular surface disease index from systematic review, on average, compared to artificial tears, a short-term follow-up of autologous serum decreased the ocular surface disease index of 11.17. And the systematic review also presenting, of course, presenting the forest plot for every aspect. This first aspect is dry eye with screamer test follow up to 6 weeks. From this study, including 7 study, this forest plot, the majority of the study, that is 5 study, have adopt decision, where these 2 studies have favor to prefer experimental use, but this study which favor the experimental use have higher or diverse standard deviation index. And the last, for this aspect dry eye with parameter screamer test follow up to 6 weeks. I'm sorry. Prefer for this forest plot favors experimental with score 1. Next, for the dry eye, the parameter of tear film break-up time on TBUT with follow-up to 6 weeks. All the included study, that is 8 study, all study majority, the all study favors the experimental use or favors for the autologous serum use, which all the included data majority seems to be have a low standard deviation, which is specific with the question of the researchers, and the forest plot score for 3 and favor for the experimental use of autologous serum. The third parameter of dry eye is ocular surface disease index with follow-up the same 2 to 6 weeks. All the majority in this 5 study, all negative outcome interpret as favor experimental, because these 5 study have hypothesized that artificial tears have advantage. But from this review, the reviewer systematic review conducts that all these 5 study resulted in negative result, which prefer for experimental or the use of autologous serum. All these studies favor experimental with this Forrester plot as displayed here. And the last, the final forest plot comparison is negative 10. The last forest plot is dry eye, still dry eye with parameter of fluorescein staining with follow-up to 6 weeks, including 5 studies, and all the majority of the study, 3 study, have a tendency the zero forest plot or unclear favors either experimental or control, where the 2 study favors for experimental or the use of autologous serum. But as we can see, this third study by Kojima, years 25, have very diverse or wide range of standard deviation. So this study may be unspecific to the question of systematic review. But the first study by Mukhopadhyay have low range of standard deviation. And the final forest plot for this aspect, fluorescein staining, favor the use of artificial tears or favor experimental, then control of artificial tears. The discussion: in the last 40 years, blood-derived topical therapy have been used in wide array of clinical conditions. In particular, thanks to their blood-derived topical therapy properties of mimicking of the composition and function of natural tears. Over last decade, serum eye drop have been increasingly used in a variety of ocular surface disease, including mainly in this issue is dry eye disease. Following first report document 40 years ago, many research have been improved for the data, including tear film stability. Serum eye drop provide improved for tear film stability, ocular surface health, and subject comfort in refractory dry eye syndrome. With a number of systematic review and meta-analysis have tried to perform a pooling analysis of data to assess the possible clinical benefit of this treatment of serum eye drop. However, the prior meta-analysis of systematic review have been inconclusive or unclear conclusion. With recent to this systematic review, the most recent is systematic review from Cochrane review published in 2017 on the use of serum eye drop in patients with dry eye with collecting from 5 RCT with 92 participants conclude that autologous serum eye drop provides some benefit in improving patient reported symptoms in short term, that is 2 weeks, but not over long term period. The systematic review from this recent Cochrane systematic review, including, I'm sorry, this article that I presented for the journal reading study included 19 trial, which different from the most recent only 5 RCT trial. And this, I mean, all these 19 RCT compare autologous serum versus control. The control can be artificial tears, saline, placebo, bandage contact lenses, umbilical cord serum, hyaluronic acid, or given no treatment. In the treatment of this corresponding aspect, in the treatment of ocular surface disease, including dry eye syndrome or other clinical condition, that is, persistent epithelial defects, post-surgical status, and post-chemical damage. The discussion further conduct a quantitative synthesis or meta-analysis. Due to the clinical heterogeneity of this 19 RCT method, the author limited the quantitative synthesis or the meta-analysis into only 10 studies evaluating autologous serum versus artificial tears in treatment of dry eye syndrome, which is a very common disorder associated with potential damage of ocular surface. 3 of these 10 studies had a crossover design, but we believe but the author believed that the inclusion of crossover design in their review was appropriate given the relative stability of dry eye and the absence of the carry-over effect after 1 week was out between treatment period. The quantitative or meta-analysis result shows that autologous serum eye drop may not result in higher Schremer test score and fluorescent staining score in the short term, 2 to 6 weeks. And the autologous serum eye drop may not result in medium or long-term 2 to 12-month follow-up compared to artificial tears in patients with eye dry syndrome. Some benefit at short-term follow-up for the outcome for the parameter of tears breakup, TBUT, and ocular surface disease index was obtained or observed. The available evidence for all comparison was related as low or very low quality due to inconsistency, imprecision, and the risk bias of the most selected study. The results of the research are in agreement with those Cochrane systematic review and meta-analysis in the reference number 10. Or in the other hand, state that there is no contradiction with the recent prior result of sysref or meta-analysis from Cochrane number 10 in this reference list. However, the author more recent quantitative analysis prior to, in this research, they have advantage or they have advanced method that this author included a large number of trial and patient, that is 10 RCT for the meta-analysis here, and from the systematic review, the meta-analysis here included 353 patients. And this is ref and meta-analysis, the limitation. In addition to existing literature, in the systematic review, the author tried to find some clinical evidence also for other clinical condition other than dry eye syndrome. They or the author cannot evaluate the other clinical syndrome other than dry eye, including post-chemical or surgical injury, or using other product than autologous serum, including allogenic serum eye drop or umbilical cord blood serum. This review only evaluating the clinical advantage use of autologous serum. But the paucity of this study that have been included, from all 19 study included, did not allow the author to perform a qualitative pooling analysis of the data, because all the data have tendency similarity to use the autology serum, and all the method including short-term and long-term follow-up have similarity. Not too diverse or too heterogeneous to require the author to perform qualitative pooling analysis. So this only systematic review. They present the forest plot results, and from 10 study further conducted a quantitative synthesis or meta-analysis. The conclusion, as outlined by other authors or the most recent prior Cochrane study, this article observed a wide interstudy heterogeneity, mainly due to difference in procedure for production of autologous serum and protocol for clinical application. Indeed, as reported in Table 1, a consistent number of trials concomitantly used additional local therapy to autologous serum eye drop in both cases and control, which means that the effect of this blood-derived product in dry eye syndrome could not be properly evaluated because the use of topical therapy, local therapy. Given this, adequately powered and well-designed randomized control trial are needed to evaluate the long-term clinical benefit of serum eye drop in ocular surface disorder. That is for the journal reading review of systematic review and meta-analysis. Thank you. I return to the doctor if there feedback or correction. Thank you, doctor.
Terima kasih atas presentasi jurnal reading-nya. Nah, sekarang saya buka untuk diskusi. Silahkan, Berliana, kalau ada pertanyaan atau komentar terkait jurnal reading yang sudah disampaikan oleh Faisal. Berliana, ada pertanyaan?
Izin bertanya. Untuk Faisal, manfaat klinis dari pengobatan ini apa ya, Zal?
Baik, terima kasih atas pertanyaan yang diberikan. Izin menjawab sebagai berikut. Bahwasanya dari systematic review ini, manfaat klinis yang bisa diberikan bahwasanya pada kondisi-kondisi mata kering atau sindrom mata kering, di mana merupakan sindrom yang sangat sering yang berkaitan dengan kerusakan potensial dari permukaan okular yang bisa menyebabkan erosi superficial dari kornea, erosi epitelial dari kornea dengan konjungtival. Hasil dari meta-analisis ini dikatakan bahwa penggunaan serum otolog bermanfaat secara klinis, akan tetapi hanya hanya follow up jangka pendek saja, dan itu pun untuk parameter terapi terutama pada parameter tear film breakup time or TBUT dan parameter ocular surface disease index. Sementara pemberian serum otolog untuk outcome dari parameter Schirmer test dan fluorescent staining masih questionable, jadi belum bisa atau dalam kata lain inkonklusif. Jadi secara garis besar yang bisa saya pahami dari systematic review untuk klinis demikian jawabannya.
Cukup jelas, Berliana?
Ya, sampun. Terima kasih.
Otolog serum itu apa, Dek?
Baik, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya, Dokter. Izin menjawab bahwasanya otolog serum sendiri merupakan baik otolog maupun homolog, kedua-duanya merupakan tetes mata yang berasal dari serum darah. Akan tetapi untuk otolog serum itu disiapkan atau dibuat dari pasien darah tepi pasien itu sendiri, atau ya darah tepi dari pasien itu sendiri yang bisa meliputi produknya otolog serum atau platelet rich plasma atau platelet lysate. Demikian dokter untuk otolog eye drop serum.
Suara saya terdengar?
Terdengar, dokter.
Cara mendapatkannya serum otolog?
Baik, dokter. Serum otolog diperoleh atau didapat dari darah tepi pasien itu sendiri, dokter, atau darah tepi pasien yang mengalami keluhan mata kering itu sendiri, dokter. Dan yang diambil adalah dan yang diambil dari produk darah tepinya itu hanya komponen serum pasiennya, dokter.
Ya, jadi darah serum itu kita ambil dari pembuluh darah tepinya, terus setelah itu dilakukan centrifuge ya, jadi kita pisahkan serumnya, kita ambil serumnya, terus nanti kita campur dengan lubrikan. Biasanya kita pakai liters gitu. Terus nanti itu akan bertahan selama paling nggak 1 minggu. Nah itu nanti kita ambil lagi, kita perbarui lagi. Oke. Tadi ini poin yang dia ada perbedaan signifikan apa aja, Dek?
Untuk clinical finding yang konklusif atau signifikan, bahwasanya serum autolog konklusif untuk clinical outcome pada parameter tear film breakup time atau TBUT dan ocular surface disease index. Sementara untuk outcome parameter yang dua lainnya, screamer test atau produksi lakrimal dan fluorescent staining inconclusive dokter, atau dikatakan pada komentar clinically may not be important result dokter.
Oke. Sekarang dari 4 itu, kalau untuk tes Schirmer, caranya bagaimana, Dek?
Izin menjawab dokter. Jadi tes Schirmer sendiri merupakan tes menggunakan kertas untuk mengevaluasi fungsi produksi kelenjar kelimar pada mata. Jadi tes tersebut dikatakan invasif sekalipun minimal, yaitu dengan memasukkan kertas Schirmer pada palpebra yang inferior, dimasukkan pada palpebra tersebut, kemudian dievaluasi dokter produksi dari kelenjar lakrimalnya dari panjang kertas Schirmer yang basah dokter. Oh iya, untuk izin
Ada
dokter.
berapa macam Schirmer?
Macam Schirmer. Untuk macam interpretasinya atau pripun dokter?
Pemeriksaan Schirmer ada berapa macam?
Ada, setahu saya ada berapa itu? Ada 2 jenis dokter, karena itu minimal invasif, ada yang dengan anestesia lokal atau tanpa anestesia dokter.
Iya. Bedanya apa, Dek? Yang Schirmer 1 itu yang tanpa pantokain ya, tanpa anestesi. Yang Schirmer 2 diberikan anestesi. Perbedaannya di mana?
Izin dokter, untuk saya pribadi belum pernah melakukannya, namun secara teori yang saya baca itu Schirmer 1 atau tanpa pantokain itu untuk mengevaluasi sekresi yang basis sama refleks dokter. Untuk yang Schirmer 2 dengan pantokain itu hanya mengevaluasi sekresi basicnya aja dokter.
Ya. Jadi normalnya berapa sih, Dek?
Normal, izin dokter, normalnya setelah Schirmer tersebut selesai dilakukan, panjang yang basah pada kertas itu lebih dari 10 mm dokter.
Oke. Kalau TBUT bagaimana?
Untuk TBUT itu sendiri atau tear film breakup time, untuk TBUT merupakan pada apa itu, systematic review ini dikatakan apabila breakup time-nya kurang dari 10 second itu dikatakan abnormal dokter.
Cara periksanya gimana, Dek, TBUT?
Penting dokter, belum mempelajari lebih lanjut terkait parameter TBUT dokter.
Oke, jadi kalau TBUT itu cara periksanya kita menggunakan slit lamp. pasien kita teteskan fluoresen atau kita goreskan sedikit, kalau pakai yang strip ya kita goreskan sedikit di limbusnya. Kemudian kita minta pasien untuk merem. Setelah itu kita lihat nanti dengan menggunakan strip time dan lampu cobalt blue. Nah, nanti kita minta setelah itu kita minta pasien untuk buka matanya, terus tahan jangan blink. Nanti kita perhatikan berapa detik dia mengedipkan mata. Harusnya normalnya di bawah 10 di atas 10 detik. Kalau di bawah 10 detik, kalau jadi kita lihat bukan blinknya tapi cracking dari polanya. Jadi kalau kita tetes fluoresen itu kan nanti akan terwarna biru ya, semburat biru kalau kita lihat pakai cobalt blue itu. Semburat biru. Nah, itu nanti kita lihat dia berapa lama crackingnya. Pasiennya kita minta jangan kedip. Normalnya di atas 10 detik dia baru muncul polanya, baru ada cracking, ada bolong-bolongnya. Gitu. Nanti kapan-kapan kalau ada pasien yang dry eye kita lakukan DBOT di poli. Oke.
Baik, dokter.
Kalau komponennya serum autolog apa, Dek?
Iya, dokter. Izin menjawab, dokter. Dari systematic review ini dikatakan komponen atau properties biokimiai serum autolog meliputi secara garis umum menyerupai sifat dari air mata pasien yang mengandung beberapa faktor-faktor growth factor meliputi epidermal growth factor, transforming growth factor TGF-beta, dan platelet derived growth factor, dan nutrien dan protein yang memungkinkan untuk repair dan regenerasi untuk berlangsung, dokter.
Jadi dia mengandung growth factor ya. Nah, growth factor ini yang dia berperan untuk proses regenerasi atau healing. Biasanya selain pada kasus dry eye, serum autolog ini juga digunakan pada kasus-kasus ulcus cornea yang dia sudah mulai ada proses healingnya. Jadi untuk membantu reepitelisasi. Oke, saya rasa cukup ya. Ada yang mau ditanyakan untuk jurnal ini?
Izin bertanya, dokter.
Sudah cukup? Kalau tidak ada yang ditanyakan, kita lanjut ke bagian. Ya, silahkan. Silakan, Dek.
Dokter, Faizal bertanya terlebih dahulu ya, dokter?
Iya.
Anjir.
Nah, silakan, Dek, tanya dulu. Mau tanya apa tadi?
Ampun, dokter, tadi termute. Izin bertanya, dokter, terkait tetes mata autolog ini dalam praktiknya apakah sering, dokter? Kemudian apabila pada pasien darah tepi itu infeksius, semisal HBsAg positif atau ada kuman pada darah tersebut, apakah serum itu tetap steril dan bisa digunakan atau indikasi untuk menggunakan autolog tetes mata pasien itu sendiri, dokter?
Ya. Jadi kalau yang tadi saya bilang lebih kalau di sini, selama ini biasanya serum autolog kita berikan pada pasien-pasien ulcus cornea. Cuma memang kalau di muar, ini dulu saya lakukannya waktu masih residen di Sarjito. Kalau di Muardi sendiri saya belum pernah coba. Apakah sebenarnya mungkin bisa ya, karena kan tergantung lab PK-nya. Intinya kan lab PK ini dia bisa membuat serum atau tidak. Kalau bisa ya bisa kita lakukan pemberian serum autolog ini. Karena simpel sekali deh, yang tadi saya bilang kita cuma butuh centrifuge aja, Jadi darah diambil terus disentrifuge, terus kita ambil serumnya, nanti dicampur dengan liters atau tetes mata lubrikan ya, tears lubrikan, perbandingannya 3:1. Satu bagian serum autolog diberikan 3 bagian dari lubrikansnya. Jadi kan itu gampang sekali sebenarnya kita bikinnya. Kalau misalkan pasiennya dia ada infeksius misalkan HBsAg, ya tentu kita tidak memberikan serum autolog dari dia, tapi kita cari dari orang lain gitu. Oke.
Baik dokter,
Jelas?
terima kasih dok.
Ya, sama-sama. Sudah cukup? Ada lagi atau kita lanjut ke jurnal berikutnya? Lanjut ya. Ya, silakan Berliana.
Izin melanjutkan, Dokter. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
In this afternoon, I will present journal reading about blepharitis, a review on human clinical trial with synthetic and natural remedies. Abstract: blepharitis is an eyelid disorder characterized by inflammation and pain. It affects all the age and ethnic group. Primary cause blepharitis is poor hygienic condition. Topical antibiotic and the preferred first-line therapy agent, along with eyelid cleansing and warm compress, are recommended. Topical steroid, oral antibiotic, and calcineurin inhibitor are also recommended in severe condition. However, recurrence of disease, dose-related side effects, and safety regimen are still uncertain with this agent. Blepharitis needs a long-term treatment. Thus, novel formulation and product with natural component may be considered more reliable to overcome such issue. In this review article, we have discussed human clinical trial conducted with conventional synthetic drugs, novel drug delivery system developed with synthetic drugs, and drugs of natural origin and other supportive measures. As compared to synthetic drugs, formulation with natural origin were found to be safe with minimum side effects. Introduction. Blepharitis is an inflammatory disorder of eyelid affecting all the age and ethnic group, probability because of poor hygienic condition. To find the prevalence of blepharitis, a lot of surveys have been conducted among school-going children in India. Blepharitis is apart from poor hygienic condition, microbial infection, clogged meibomian gland, dandruff, eyelid Smith, and allergy or meibomian gland dysfunction followed by blockage of meibomian gland and decreased production of meibum. Table 1, this is a blepharitis survey report of different places in India. Classification and diagnosis. Classification blepharitis, there are blepharitis anterior and blepharitis posterior. In anterior blepharitis, inflammation occurs of the base of eyelids and follicle, and it is characterized by redness in lid margin, superficial discomfort, eyelid ulceration, crusting around lashes, blurred vision, light sensitivity, thickness of eyelid in morning. In posterior blepharitis, meibomian gland dysfunction happen, and it is characterized by decreased meibum secretion with foamy tears, chalazia, eyelid scarring, corneal neovascularization, corneal ulceration, marginal infiltration, and panus. Figure 1, disease causes of blepharitis. There are poor ocular hygiene, allergy to ocular medication, contact lens solution, acosmetic, and then meibomian gland dysfunction. In poor ocular hygiene, there are dandruff in irises, microbial attack, and demodex mib. All of it causes block of meibomian gland, then decrease meibomian production, and then blepharitis occur. Red swollen eyelid, burning sensation, ocular irritation, loss of elysis, and misdirected elysis are common symptoms of blepharitis. Technique used to diagnose blepharitis are slit lamp examination and tear film stability test by using manual keratometry, placidokeratometry, precorneal tear film interferometry. Confocal microscopy is the modern technique to diagnose presence of inflammatory cell. Treatment and management. Topical antibiotic and warm compress is first-line therapy. Topical steroids are used in chronic condition of blepharitis to reduce inflammation. Oral antibiotics are preferred in chronic condition. Calcineurin inhibitor are immunomodulatory agent given as topical, which also reduce the inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acid are the supportive therapy in blepharitis to improve functioning of meibomian gland. Eyelid cleansing, warm compress, and eyelid scrub are preferred to reduce some complications by removing the meibum clogging and remove microbes. In this review, we have summarized the human clinical trial with synthetic drug in conventional drug form, synthetic drug in novel drugs delivery system, and formulation from natural origin for the management of blepharitis. Discussion. In synthetic therapy, a drop of antibiotic alone or in combination with steroid are given for the management of blepharitis. Azithromycin, erythromycin, norfloxacin, tobramycin, moxifloxacin, doxycycline, and minocycline are the most commonly used antibiotics. They are recommended for the short-term application because of the development of antibiotic resistance, steroid-induced intraocular pressure rise, and other complications. Povidone iodine has been reported in the form of gel formulation for topical application in the irises and eyelid for demodic blepharitis and blepharoconjunctivitis without any reported side effect. Terpineol is the essential oil from tea tree oil, which is very effective agent microorganism causing skin and ocular infection, especially agent demodex mib, within 4 weeks. Bebagel is a poloxamide-based cosmetic gel for cleansing the eyelid in patients with sensitive skin or contact lens users. It removes mucus, debris, bacteria from eyelid, and hydrates eyelid skin. Bebagel soothing effect help to use in periocular region routinely without any adverse effect. Manuka honey has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory effect, which help to treat blepharitis symptoms. From study conducted in blepharitis patients with Manuka honey, blood microemulsion eye cream found to be more safe and tolerable in periocular area without any adverse effect. Herman et al. Conducted human clinical trial to treat meibomian gland dysfunction by intraductal meibomian gland probing using 2 mm cannula under biomicroscopy. This is tabel. This is a synthetic drug used for the management of blepharitis. And tabel 3, this is human clinical trial with novel drug delivery system and formulation of natural origin in treatment of blepharitis. Conclusion, blepharitis is an inflammatory disorder of eyelid and mainly observed in school-going children with poor hygienic condition. If remained unattended, This infection may lead to keratopathy, permanent eyelid morphology change, and corneal neovascularization. Topical antibiotics, steroid, and calcineurin inhibitor are the recommended first-line therapy, but their safety and duration of treatment is largely unknown. When compared with synthetic agent, formulation developed with natural ingredient were found to be equally effective with minimum side effect for treatment of blepharitis. Critical pressure, design a review article, subject international journal database where search for all literature, title precise, simple and clear, author clearly mentioned with the institution, abstract, brief, representative, and summaries the study. Population, children in India, intervention, treatment blepharitis with conventional synthetic drugs, novel drug delivery system developed with synthetic drugs, and drugs of natural origin and other supportive measures. Comparison, compared to synthetic drug, formulation with natural origin were found to be safe with minimum side effect. Outcome, natural ingredient were found to be equally effective with minimum side effect for treatment of blepharitis. Validity, the title, abstract, and introduction are presented with clearly state the main idea of this journal. Important, this study provides recent study and data about human clinical trial conducted with conventional synthetic drugs, novel drug delivery system developed with synthetic drugs, and drugs of natural origin and other supportive measures. Applicability, this study is applicable for professional healthcare, how to treat and manage blepharitis. Terima kasih dokter, mohon untuk feedbacknya.
Ya, terima kasih Berlian atas presentasinya. Saya buka diskusi, silakan Faisal untuk pertanyaan atau komentar terkait jurnal yang sudah disampaikan.
Baik dokter, atas waktu kesempatannya, izin bertanya kepada presenter terkait jurnal. Pada praktiknya, pada populasi dari low resource income country, apakah natural remedies ini bisa diterapkan untuk home remedies? Jadi sepaham saya, selain pharmacological treatment atau tadi bahasanya terapi yang sudah umum seperti antibiotik topikal, itu untuk terapi. Sementara untuk yang home remedies blepharitis seperti tentu hygiene, membersihkan kotoran, sisik atau krustanya, dan kompres hangat, itu kan juga merupakan edukasi home remedy pada pasien blepharitis. Nah, untuk penggunaan natural remedies yang mana tentu bisa mudah didapat bahannya, apakah bisa applicable untuk home remedy pasien blepharitis seperti pada kompres hangat dan hygiene? Demikian dokter dan presenter.
Baik, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya Faizal. Sebenarnya pada jurnal ini bahan alami yang digunakan tadi kan ada madu manuka dan juga ada tea tree face wash. Sebenarnya untuk pengaplikasiannya sendiri di masyarakat untuk bahan ini mungkin masih belum banyak diaplikasikan ya. Lebih banyak dari edukasi dari kompres hangat dan juga penggunaan antibiotik topikalnya. Kemudian kalau di pengaplikasian pengobatan blefaritis di masyarakat mungkin masih banyak dilakukan dengan antibiotik topikal dan juga edukasi dari kompres hangat. Mungkin untuk membersihkannya bisa menggunakan povidone iodin dengan dosis rendah. Kalau untuk bahan alami mungkin belum banyak diaplikasikan untuk pengobatan blefaritisnya. Begitu, Faisal dan dokter.
Baik, terima kasih atas jawabannya, presenter.
Oke. Ada lagi yang mau ditanyakan, Faisal?
Sejauh ini sampun, dokter.
Tadi Berliana untuk bahan alaminya tadi madu manuka sama satu lagi apa, Dek?
Madu manuka sama ini dokter terpineol dokter. Dia dari essential oil biasanya dalam bentuk tisu basah atau sabun cuci muka.
Kalau madu manukanya dioleskan?
Iya dokter. Di dalam bentuk eye cream biasanya dokter.
Terus ini kan review artikel ya.
Iya.
Dari referensinya dia yang penelitian dengan menggunakan manuka honey dan terpeneol ini hasilnya gimana, Dek?
Jadi hasilnya ini tidak ada pada madu manuka ini tidak ada efek samping yang signifikan dokter untuk pengaplikasiannya. Kemudian pada penggunaan tea tree wash, dia ada efek samping. Efek sampingnya itu seperti kulitnya kering, kemudian ada rasa gatal, dan juga pada orang dengan jerawat nanti kulitnya akan kemerahan begitu dokter.
Kalau efek utamanya dia apa, Dek? Kan tadi efek sampingnya dari penelitian dikatakan nggak ada efek samping, tapi dia memberikan efek nggak untuk perbaikan blefaritisnya?
Untuk madu manuka, dia memiliki efek antibakteri dan juga antiinflamasi dokter yang membantu mengobati dari gejala blefaritisnya. Sedangkan untuk yang terpineol itu minyak atsiri dari minyak pohon teh, dia efektif untuk melawan mikroorganisme penyebab infeksi kulit dan mata, terutama terhadap tungo demodex dokter. Dalam waktunya biasanya pengobatannya dalam waktu 4 minggu dokter.
Oke. Kalau tata laksana blefaritis gimana, Dek?
Untuk tata laksana blefaritis sendiri, untuk terapi utamanya dengan menggunakan antibiotik topikal dokter, kemudian dan juga dilakukan kompres hangat, bisa dilakukan selama 5 hingga 10 menit. Kemudian apabila ada sisik pada bulu matanya, sisiknya tersebut bisa dibersihkan dengan menggunakan dibersihkan terlebih dahulu, dokter. Kemudian untuk blefaritis yang lebih berat bisa menggunakan steroid, dokter.
Blefaritis ada berapa macam, Dek?
Ada blefaritis anterior dan juga blefaritis posterior, dokter.
Bedanya?
Kalau yang blefaritis anterior itu dia peradangannya ada di permukaan kelopak mata, sedangkan yang blefaritis posterior ada di dalam kelopak mata, dokter.
Batasnya apa? Secara
Untuk
anatomisnya apa? Depan dan belakang.
pripun, dokter?
Batasnya apa, Dek? Depan belakangnya. Secara anatomisnya?
Secara anatomis. Mohon maaf, dokter, saya belum terlalu mempelajari anatomisnya, dokter.
Batasnya margopalpebra ya.
Pripun, dokter?
Batasnya margopalpebra. Jadi kalau di depannya margopalpebra berarti dia blefaritis anterior. Kalau di belakangnya blefaritis posterior. Tuh. Ada lagi yang mau ditanyakan nggak, Dek? Sudah cukup?
Nggih, dokter. Sepertinya cukup, dokter.
Oke, kalau sudah tidak ada yang ditanyakan, kita akhiri jurnal reading hari ini ya.
Nggih,
Terima
dokter.
kasih semuanya. Selamat Lebaran. Selamat
Nggih,
berlibur. Nanti
dokter.
kita ketemu lagi. Insya Allah Selasa ya, Dek, saya bimbingan untuk pediatrik oftalmologinya. Nanti dibarengkan aja senior sama junior.
Baik, dokter.
Baik, dokter. Minal aizin wal faizin, dokter. Selamat Lebaran, dokter. Semoga dokter dan keluarga selalu diberi kesehatan, dokter.
Amin. Sama-sama ya, Dek ya. Ya.
Iya, dokter. Mohon maaf lahir batin, dokter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam.
wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih, dokter.
Terima kasih.